Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel.
Hi.
This is the final video of our Christmas calendar countdown. We made it to the end. There were some tricky bits in the middle where we were pretty tired, coming towards the end of a school term, and sort of had colds and things like that. But we made it, and this is going to be our final video. So thank you for joining us if you did look at and watch some of those videos. So this particular video, we just wanted to talk about coming to the end of a school term. It's now the Christmas holidays. Children are now off for around two weeks, and you know we do get a lot of sort of questions from parents about what can we do with the children in this time. You sort of have a week of them relaxing, playing, and then after that they get a little bit bored, or you know you might want to think about like how you can prepare them for coming back to school. But obviously it's the balance of that and also not trying to overwhelm and work them too hard and letting them have that rest. So what do you think about this time? How parents can sort of help children? What could they be doing with them? Is there certain things that would benefit them, do you think, at this point?
I was going to say it's really important that they do have a rest. You know, that they've worked. If I think basically year 6, the year group that I teach or we teach, they've literally worked so hard every single week. Even, well, you know, all the way up to the last week of school, the children working, they were writing, and they've worked really hard. So I think it's really important that they do have a rest. So in preparation for next year, I would say making sure that they're reading as much as possible, you know, having an adult read with them, someone asking them questions, because you really can see the children at school that have someone at home reading with them, asking them questions. I know the older that they get, they don't need someone listening to them, but I think sometimes it's nice to just read a book, someone to listen to you, and then have a discussion with that. You know, have a discussion with that person. It might not be a mum or dad. It might be an older cousin. You know, people are around during Christmas time. Well, let's hope that we don't have any restrictions. People are around at Christmas. You know, reading with somebody, making sure that they're engaged in books. You know, different kinds of books.
I mean, I actually have a boy that I tutor online, and all we do during this sort of holiday time is that we'll read a book together online. We'll talk about different words that come up. So if he doesn't understand a word, we'll discuss what that word might mean. We record that word in a little vocabulary book so that he's always building on that vocabulary and sort of building a bank of words that he didn't know before. Particularly if English is not his first language, that really helps to keep him sort of interested in books, being able to access more difficult books because you know he's got ways he can work out the words, and we also just talk about the topics in the book, the themes, things that are coming up, help him sort of infer from the book the characters' feelings, and just keep him engaged really in stories and reading. And keep that enthusiasm there. So that's something that I know I do for parents. You were talking about making sure they're still really au fait with their times tables.
Definitely.
Coming into next year. So, you know, times tables are so important, and it helps them, if they know them quickly, it really helps them with a lot of maths. They're able to access it, or if they don't know the times tables, they can't access it, along with their division facts. You know, so that's something that they can be practicing at home. I know some schools use Times Tables Rockstars. There's also a really great program I've mentioned before called Hit the Button, which makes it fun.
Hit the Button's good.
It's a game, it's free, you can do it online and play it whenever you want to. So, you know, not overworking their children, giving them some rest, but also, you know, making time for those interests, reading, a little bit of times tables practice, making it fun.
I was going to say just a revision of basically by this point in the year, the children should have covered place, value, and number, and they'll be moving on to more. They'll be moving on to different subjects next term. So they'll be needing to apply everything that they've learned this term to next term. And there'll be lots more reasoning and application of skills. Yeah. We're also going to mention about, I know it might not be, a controversial topic, but in the case of online learning, just making sure that children are set up on Google Classroom. I'm guessing most schools, children have their logins by now. Just getting them familiar with the routine, the timetable, because if it happens, which I don't think it will, just getting them to grips with, timetable, routine, waking up at a specific time, logging on at a specific time, snack at a specific time, getting them outside as much as possible. And yeah,
schools should be a lot more prepared for online learning this time around. For some schools, it's their third time on remote learning. Either through Google Classroom or through a different program.
Some schools use Class Dojo. Some schools use Teams.
The Google Classroom, each year a class should be set up with a new class, and they should have been given a class code. I know at our school we did send those home beforehand, before Christmas, just in case.
It just depends, because that's how we set our homework. So in our school, all homework is set on Google Classroom. So I think it just depends on the school, and it depends on the year group. Some year groups would have, lower down, they need a lot more support. I think
access it. With the younger children, it's harder for them. The older children are able to do things a bit more independently, to be able to manage themselves a bit more, log in when they're supposed to be online, and they can just access and keep the attention for longer periods on those online lessons. I think it is a bit more difficult for the younger children, but I guess if it does happen, hopefully schools are a lot more prepared now than they were when we first locked down. Children will have an online timetable of what they're going to be covering when, and it should match the timetable that they would normally do in school. And covering all those core subjects: English, maths, hopefully science and topic as well, with reading covered as well during that time. I found that the remote learning was, it was hard work in a different way for teachers, I think, just because although you were not in front of the kids directly, there was a lot of planning and preparation that went into making sure the children had the necessary resources to be able to access. So, we were making lots of videos online so that children could watch them back as lessons. You had to create lots of different types of documents that you wouldn't normally create in school. So there was a little bit more hard work in that sense, but there are really nice things to remote learning. We were able to make a video in school of one of the books the children were reading, The Man on the Moon, and we brought it to life, and they watched the video at home. So there are nice creative ways of getting.
You wouldn't have time to do that.
No, but hopefully some. So, teachers can sort of help children in that way to keep them engaged, particularly with the younger children. It helps. But yeah, I think if we do end up in that situation, just make sure your child has got their Google Classroom set up. They know when their learning is going to be put on. They know the deadlines for when it should be submitted, and that you are in contact with the school, so you know how it's going to work. If there are any questions you have for us regarding like online learning, I know it was stressful for parents during those lockdowns. If there are any questions that you'd like us to answer, I'm not sure we get that many comments on our videos, but if there is anything you would like to ask us, then please comment.
On Instagram.
Yeah, you could message us, direct messages on Instagram. We have an Instagram account as well, because really the whole purpose of this channel is to give that communication between parents and teachers, so parents feel they have that bit of support, and that was the whole idea behind the channel. So please comment if you do have any questions. Hopefully if we can continue with the channel, we might even do some live Q&As where parents can ask us questions and we can try and answer them the best that we can around children's learning and how to help them as best as possible. So yeah, that's it from us. Have a lovely Christmas. Enjoy your Christmas day with your families, and we'll see you in the new year. Look out for those phonics videos. They're going to be coming soon to help children, support them with their early reading and phonics. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye. Bye.